Hi friends, I published a video recently about shell voicings and their use against various modes, and that video seemed to get a little more attention than I typically get, and a fair amount of comments that were quite helpful. And like most of the videos I make, I sometimes struggle with where's the line, give some useful information without being too overwhelming, but where's the line? It feels to me like some of these things could be an hour long or more. The one I did about shell voicings, I'll link it in the description. It's probably worth looking at in relation to this one, because I wanted to dive a little bit deeper, because I thought maybe there was a bit that I left out that could be also quite helpful. And it's also related to a much older video that I created, which I'll also link in the description, about modes of the harmonic major scale, an alternate to the altered dominant scale. So yeah, before getting into that, I just wanted to mention that the reason I created this channel was really to give back to the community. I've got a lot from YouTube over the years, whether it's musical or anything related, and I thought, well, there's a lot of great ideas out there, some not so great ideas. There's a ton of information, but if you weed through it, you'll find things that are useful to you, and I certainly have done that, and I wanted to give back. So I'm trying to do that, putting some information out there that I've accumulated from decades of working on this music, and hopefully it finds the right audience. And I just wanted to mention that if this channel does resonate with you and there's topics that you want to hear or get more clarity on, please leave a comment. I'd be more than happy to address any questions or concerns that you had. So with that said, let's dive into where I left off on that last video, and what I kind of breezed over that I want to give a little bit more detail on, and that was in regards to a 2-5-1 in a minor key. And in that video we were using C minor as the example. So just to recap, in case you don't watch that video, we're playing shell voicings diatonic to a key or a mode to outline the sound of that mode. So one of the examples was a C Lydian, so we play a C major 7 arpeggio on the 5th string, and then play shell voicings for each one of those chords, and that would give us the complete sound of that C Lydian mode. So I'm not going to repeat all that. It's in the other videos. You can check that out. But in C minor, then towards the end, I went into this idea about playing over 2-5-1 in a minor key. So using C minor or C Aeolian as our mode, the 2 chord would be D minor 7 flat 5. I'm going to use my freeze pedal to hold this. And if I played shell voicings diatonic to that key, that outlining a D minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio on that string, we get these. Then the G7, the 5-7 chord, the 5 chord, I kind of breezed over that and played some stuff, but didn't really talk about it. And then the 1 chord, playing diatonic, again my freeze pedal, so you can hear the C minor shell voicing, the other chords diatonic to that C minor, C Aeolian chord scale. But back to the G7, that's really what I want to talk about, is the 5 chord. So what's the difference? That there's one note in the 5 chord in a minor key that's outside, that is non-diatonic to the key. And that happens to be in the key of C minor. Our 5 chord is G7. The one note in this chord that is not diatonic to the key of C minor is B natural, right? The 3rd of the G7 chord is not in the key of C minor, C natural minor. It's in the key of C harmonic minor, but not in the key of C natural minor. So that note changes. So my idea, which I didn't talk about and I wanted to follow up on, is that if we think of a 2-5-1 in any given key, in this case C minor, where we play these shell voicings that are diatonic to that chord scale, whether it's the 1 chord or the 2 chord or the 5 chord, we would get this kind of sound. But over that 5 chord, we want to make that one change, the B natural. Well, this idea might be a little bit strange for some, but what I'm proposing is the way I'm thinking of it is I'm going to play all of the notes that are diatonic to the key of C minor, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. Those are the notes that are diatonic. But I'm going to, when I get to the 5 chord, I'm going to move the C, the root of the key that we're in, down a half step to the B natural, but leave all the other notes the same. So B natural, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and B natural. And get this sound, which is actually a mode of the harmonic major scale, which I have another video linked, which you can check that out, which I would recommend because there's some, if you like these shell voicing ideas, there's some information in that video that talks about how to harmonize the harmonic major chord scale to get some very cool sounds. So check that out. But back to this. So the idea here being, again, move in whatever minor key you're in. We have the Aeolian mode. When we get to the 5 chord, move the root note, in this case C, move down a half step, but leave all the other notes the same. And you get this sound. So here's the G7 chord, and I'm going to play the sound of that scale. Now, how does that relate to these shell voicings? Well, the same thing. If I'm going to play my shell voicings in the key of C minor, and I have my diatonic chords, which look like this, every place when I get to my 5 chord, every place that I have a C natural, like right here, I move it down to a B natural. My 2nd chord, which looks like this, has a C natural here, I move it down to a B natural. So I get this. This does not have a C in it. This does not have a C in it. This does not have a C in it. But this one has a C in it, so I move it down a half step. I get this very cool sound. This one does not have a C in it, and this one does. I'm back to the root, so I move it down a half step. So these are the sounds I'm getting over a G7 shell voicing. I'll use my freeze to hold this. You can hear this sound. This one in particular. So that's the idea. And that applies to any key, just a very simple way to think of it. Again, let's take another example. What if it's in the key of A minor and we've got a 2-5-1, B minor 7 flat 5. Let me loop this. 5 chord, the 1 chord. Right? We could play A minor, Aeolian, over the whole thing, sort of. When we get to that 5 chord, what I'm thinking of is simply moving the root note, in this case A, down a half step, but leaving all the other notes the same. Here is back to A minor. So that's the idea. So I think between the first video I'll link, which talked about shell voicings, the second one, which talked about mode, the harmonic major scale as one of the modes of the harmonic major scale as a alternative to the alter dominant, between those two things and this idea of when you get to the 5 chord, just move the root note of the overall key down a half step, and that scale has a lot of symmetry to it. Like here's the scale from the lowest note. So if I play 4 notes on a string and then 3 notes, then it repeats. It's symmetrical. 4 notes, 3, 4. So a way to get some extend your chord vocabulary, your melodic vocabulary, and particularly, like I mentioned, if you check out some of the voicings in the end of the second video, you might find even more uses for the harmonic major scale. So if any of this was confusing, I apologize. Again, feel free to leave comments, talk about any topics you'd like to get in any more detail, and hope that gives you some musical ideas to play with. Good luck.